Today on Plethora's channel, we will walk you through Plethora's video art process. We can hardly wait. The process begins in the artist's mind. Let's take a look. The flame of existential dread boils the cauldron. Inside of the cauldron is a goopy substance called the imagination. If we inspect the flame closely, we can see that the existential dread flame isn't one flame, but many small flames. This small blue flame is the fear of unactualized potential. This orange one is the flame of the fear of never living up to the expectations that the artist sets for himself. Now this flame here burns at a higher temperature than the others. This is known as the flame of the never-ending march of time and the artist's inevitable demise. These are just a few examples of the flames that heat up the imagination into a gooey consistency. Here in the imagination, many phrases and ideas mix and meld with one another as the flame burns off unnecessary concepts that won't fit the whole of the project. This process is unpredictable. The volatile substance can take anywhere from 1 day to 1 year to fully purify. This process is happening all over the artist's mind simultaneously while he goes about his day. Just look at him go. Once the idea is purified and the flames lower and the hot, gooey imagination begins to solidify into a fully formed idea, the idea gets put through a vetting process, which is also performed by the artist. In most cases, the idea is discarded through the judgment filtering process. The judgment made to yay or nay an idea is done through feelings. Many ideas are discarded by the "this sounded cooler in my head" filter. Some ideas, even though loved by the artist, are denied due to the "I like this idea, but my skills aren't adequate enough to do this yet, but maybe in a year" filter. While the artist thinks he's storing them in the save for later section, these ideas typically slowly fade away into nothingness until they are totally forgotten. The artist plays this trick on himself so he can make room for more ideas to be sifted through. When an idea finally makes it through the filtering process, the artist moves into the materialization process. In this stage of creation, the artist moves the solidified idea into the center of his mind and begins to translate the crystallized idea into words or images, so it can eventually be shared with others. The artist writes or draws aspects of the idea in an attempt to fully translate the pure idea into a consumable medium for you. How nice! The artist, however, lacking the proper communication or skills to accurately translate the idea, gathers a rough image of what it looks like in his head. Now that the artist has gathered the pure idea and made a sloppy, slightly similar duplicate of the idea in the real world, the real work begins. Now that the idea formation process has ended, the artist now turns away from the mental and into the actual, where the artist works tediously to turn his sloppy recreation into a more accurate reflection of the pure idea. This phase of the process is known as the building stage. He works tediously to make sure that the words he writes accurately reflect what was in his mind, often disregarding if it makes any sense to anyone else at all. Once the script is finished, he drinks a copious amount of water. He heard somewhere that this removes excess noise from his mouth while recording. He's not convinced it's true, but he does it anyways. Now it's time to record. The script is read over and over again until the artist feels it has the right feel to it. Throughout this step, it's common for the artist to think thoughts like, is this idea worth all the effort I'm putting into it? But he completes the task anyways. Before he knows it, the fully formed idea is complete and saved to a file, and we can imagine he says something like, this idea can be likened to putting paper mache on a balloon until the balloon is no longer necessary for its structural integrity, because now the idea is here to stay. Next, he moves into the decoration phase while he questions his abilities. Meanwhile, the art has its essence, but there's a piece missing that accentuates its important characteristics. The small piece of relief felt from finishing the structure is short-lived as the artist moves into the "this is the most important thing I've ever done in my entire life and I can't mess this up" phase. In this process, perfection feels necessary to the artist, so heavy analysis and precise placement become the center of the artist's motives. While this process is mentally heavy on the artist, it's what helps bring the art to its full fruition. Now that we have taken a look at the artist's mental turmoil and what he likes to call the oil for the machine that is me, let's take a look at how he's building. He uploads his audio into an animating software. Here he listens to 5-second clips of the audio over and over and over again until he thinks of which drawing or animation pairs well. He does this repeatedly until, voila, we have a finished piece of art. Now that the project is finished, it's time to upload. Before uploading, the artist looks up and mutters something like, I hope this is the one that gets me out of here. After uploading, the finished art piece travels through the World Wide Web. Here, the idea takes its place on Plethora's homepage and its duplicates are sent out to other places on YouTube. Here, the idea fends for itself against the sea of other content. Good luck, little guy.